Alia had firmly resolved to divorce Jihan. She arranged a meeting at a restaurant and sent him a message requesting his presence, additionally inviting Mina to join. Upon their arrival, Alia presented the divorce papers, which she had already signed, and requested that Jihan add his signature as well. Without hesitation, Jihan complied. Although Alia attempted to conceal her emotions, her distress was evident. She collected the documents, expressed her gratitude, and extended her best wishes to Jihan and Mina for their future together. As Jihan rose to depart, he offered to drive Alia home, noting that it was on his way. While exiting the restaurant, he inquired, "Are you satisfied now?" Maintaining her composure, Alia replied, "Why does it matter to you? You should concern yourself with Mina." Jihan then questioned, "Will you persist in this matter indefinitely?" She firmly responded, "Yes." Jihan proceeded to reveal, "The papers we signed have no legal validity. We are still required to formalize the divorce through the court." Unperturbed, Alia replied, "That is not an issue. We shall finalize the proceedings in a single session." However, Jihan declared, "That will not occur. I will never agree to a divorce." Shocked, Alia asked, "Then why did you sign the papers?" Jihan responded indifferently, "I merely complied with your request." Determined, Alia asserted, "I will ensure this divorce is finalized, and I will take my son with me." Jihan countered, "That remains to be seen. Our son will remain with me until he turns 18. Only then will he have the right to choose." Frustrated, Alia warned, "If you persist in this manner, I shall accept your mother's proposal." Perplexed, Jihan inquired, "What proposal? Since when have you and my mother formed an alliance?" After a moment of silence, Alia replied sarcastically, "I will move into your family home with my son." Undeterred, Jihan declared, "Regardless of your actions or my mother's, I will not consent to a divorce." With unwavering resolve, Alia responded, "We shall see, Jihan. I will secure this divorce." She then summoned a taxi and departed, disregarding Jihan's attempts to stop her. Shortly thereafter, Jihan contacted Errol, informing him, "Alia intends to file for divorce." Errol, seemingly unsurprised, asked, "Because of Mina?" Jihan dismissed the inquiry, stating, "That is irrelevant. Your task is to ensure that no lawyer accepts her case." Hesitant, Errol questioned, "How do you expect me to accomplish that?" Irritated, Jihan retorted, "Find a way," and abruptly ended the call. Meanwhile, Mina contacted Jihan to assure him, "I had no influence on Alia's decision to pursue divorce." Jihan ended the call without further explanation, leaving Mina bewildered and suspicious. She began to question, "Are they deceiving me?" Concurrently, Alia sought legal representation and consulted an attorney named Emra, informing him of her intention to initiate divorce proceedings. Upon hearing her name, Emra hesitated and asked, "Are you the wife of Jihan Boga?" She confirmed, "Yes." His demeanor changed noticeably. Sensing his reluctance, Alia assured him, "I will compensate you generously beyond your standard fees." At that moment, Emra received a phone call. A voice instructed, "If Jihan's wife seeks your representation for a divorce, you must refuse." Without hesitation, Emra replied, "Understood." Turning back to Alia, he regretfully informed her, "I have just received an urgent overseas assignment and will be unable to accept your case. I apologize." Realizing Jihan's interference, Alia left the office in frustration. Meanwhile, Zyron reflected on Demir's ultimatum, feeling increasingly conflicted. She approached her mother, stating that she was heading to school. Her mother, however, stopped her and requested, "May we speak for a moment?" They sat together, and her mother reminded her, "You are aware of your father's circumstances. He will remain in prison for several years. However, Shaheen does not deserve to endure the same fate." She proceeded to explain that Demir had offered a solution to secure her brother's release, insisting, "You must accept this proposal to save him." Overwhelmed by pressure, Zyron left abruptly, tears welling in her eyes. Elsewhere, Kaya sat alone in his room, contemplating a firearm. Nara entered swiftly, immediately seizing the firearm from Kaya's hands and reprimanding him sternly. "What are you doing? Will you ever regain your senses?" Tormented by guilt, Kaya confessed, How can I remain passive while Sahin is imprisoned because of me? What if he is never released? His words deeply unsettled Nara. At that moment, Jihan returned to the mansion and asked the butler, "Where is Denise?" The butler responded, "In the kitchen." Jihan nodded and instructed, "Ensure that he remains there." Ascending the stairs, Jihan confronted his mother with evident fury. "I have repeatedly warned you to abandon your schemes. I will never comply with them," he declared. His outburst drew Nara and Kaya, who approached in alarm and asked, "What is happening?" Jihan turned to them and, addressing his mother with frustration, declared, "I am not divorcing Alia. I have told you countless times. Cease this interference." Turning to his siblings, he continued, "Mother has promised Alia a mansion to live in with our son if she agrees to the divorce." Sidika, who had remained silent, finally spoke. "Does this mean Alia has accepted the offer and truly intends to proceed with the divorce?" Without responding, their mother left the room and descended to the kitchen. Seething with anger, Jihan vowed, "I will not allow this divorce to occur. If you persist, I will personally help Alia leave the country with our son." Sidika objected, but Jihan warned, "Then stay out of this matter," before storming out. Observing the scene, Nara turned to their mother and remarked, "Did you hear him? He asked you to step aside." Unyielding, their mother asserted, "No one will take my grandson from me." Without another word, Nara left, and Kaya attempted to follow. However, their mother stopped him, warning, "Do not interfere, or you will regret it." Refusing to engage further, Kaya walked away. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Kadir remained with Denise, who was engrossed in drawing. A housemaid confided to the butler, "Madame Sidika will not stop until Jihan and Alia's marriage is dissolved." The butler, cautious, advised, "It is best not to involve ourselves." Unbeknownst to them, Jihan stood nearby, overhearing their exchange and growing increasingly agitated. At that moment, his siblings approached, and Nara asked, "Has Alia formally filed for divorce?" He replied, "Not yet, but she intends to." Just then, Alia entered the mansion and declared firmly, "I will initiate the divorce proceedings as soon as I find legal representation." Addressing Nara, she continued, "Your brother has ensured that no lawyer will take my case. Every time I seek counsel, they behave as though I am a threat." Kaya chuckled, while Jihan urged, "Come, let us talk." Once inside, Alia retrieved their passports and placed them in her bag. "Forgive me, but I cannot trust you," she stated firmly. Jihan countered, "I will stop you." Alia retorted, "You are incredibly selfish. Once the judge sees you, he will grant this divorce immediately." Undeterred, Jihan implored her to reconsider, yet Alia remained resolute. Meanwhile, Alia continued searching for legal representation online. At that moment, Ogre arrived to check on her well-being, expressing his concern. He reassured her that Jihan had misunderstood the situation but emphasized that her safety was his only concern. Alia insisted that nothing significant had occurred. When Ogre inquired further, Jihan entered abruptly, questioning Ogre's presence and ordering Alia to leave so he could speak privately. Despite her attempts to defuse the tension, Jihan forcibly removed her from the room and accused Ogre of interfering in his marriage. Ogre reminded Jihan that Alia was in the process of filing for divorce. Enraged, Jihan demanded that Ogre stay out of his affairs and proceeded to physically assault him, warning him not to approach Alia again. Afterward, he seized Alia's belongings, forcibly led her out, and insisted that she accompany him. When she resisted, he threatened to carry her by force. She resists. He threatens to carry her as Nektu, Jihan, and Alia arrive at the mansion. Overcome with frustration, Alia withdraws to her room, where she begins destroying various objects in a violent outburst. Jihan attempts to calm her, but their heated argument is soon interrupted by a knock at the door. When he opens it, Jihan finds his mother standing there. He firmly instructs her not to interfere and closes the door in her face before returning to continue his dispute with Alia. Exasperated, Alia questions his conduct. Jihan reproaches her for ignoring his warnings, reminding her that he had explicitly instructed her not to contact Ogrek when distressed after her nightmare. Seeking comfort, their child requests to sleep with his mother and then invites Jihan to join them as well. Jihan declines, stating that it is unnecessary. Later, as Jihan gathers the shattered items from the floor, Alya assists him. Once the majority of the mess has been cleared, she assures him that she will finish the remaining cleaning in the morning. He consents and retreats to his room, despite having sustained an injury to his hand. The following day, while at his office, Jihan inquires about the lawyer hired by Ogre for Alya. He learns that the lawyer is highly capable. Meanwhile, Alya is questioned by her lawyer regarding the grounds for divorce. When asked about physical violence, she denies its occurrence. When questioned about infidelity, she remains silent. The lawyer explains that proving infidelity would significantly facilitate the proceedings. Nevertheless, Alya resolves to first discuss the matter directly with Jihan. Shortly afterward, Jihan is informed that Alya's lawyer, Talyat Hilmi, has requested a meeting with her. Though visibly frustrated, he agrees. Jihan then meets Alya and her lawyer, greets them, and sits down. The lawyer informs him that Alya has confided in him about the issue involving Mina, though she does not wish to raise it in court to avoid scandal. Despite this, Jihan refuses to consent to the divorce. Alya subsequently requests to speak with him privately. During their conversation, she asks why he insists on generating scandal. He replies that if she believes it is appropriate, she may proceed. She urges him to consider Mina, who would inevitably be affected, and reminds him that he would bear responsibility for the consequences. Jihan responds that all of this could be avoided if she withdraws her divorce request. Alya refuses and departs. Meanwhile, Errol warns Jihan that if Alya chooses to reveal the matter concerning Mina, she will easily obtain the divorce. Later, Jihan arrives and attempts to provoke Alya further. She resolutely states that they will resolve everything in court. Jihan insists that she will not succeed in divorcing him, to which Alya confidently replies that she will. As she leaves, she encounters his mother and other relatives, who implore her not to proceed with the divorce. Overwhelmed, she retreats to Denise's room, uncertain of her next steps. The following day, Jihan prepares himself and goes to see Alya, asking if she is ready. They then proceed to court. Before departing, Nara embraces Alya, while Kaya reassures Jihan that whatever transpires will ultimately be for the best. Alya's friend also expresses hope for a favorable outcome. Upon their arrival at the courthouse, Mina watches from a distance. Inside, Alya's lawyer presents the case to the judge, who then asks Alya if she has anything further to add. She replies that she does not. Errol feels relieved that she did not mention Mina. Errol then addresses the judge as well. The judge subsequently turns to Jihan and asks if he has any final remarks. Jihan declares that he does not wish to divorce Alya. In response, Alya introduces Aga as a witness. Aga testifies that Jihan is violent and recounts an incident at the hospital. The judge then asks Alya whether her husband has ever abused her. She replies that he has not. Finally, the judge asks Jihan for his perspective on their marriage. Jihan praises Alya, admits to having wronged her on numerous occasions, and pleads for a second chance.